This is way better than we thought. The Boston Celtics have a lot of questions going into next season. And one of those biggest questions is who the starting center is going to be at the beginning of this season. And well, there's one guy by the name of Neemias Queta who is making a big name for himself during EuroBasket this summer as his season there has just finished. And well, he's been nothing short than incredible for Portugal. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here on Celtics Digest. I'm your host, Patrick Billings, and before we get into anything, guys, if you're loving the content we're doing over here on Celtics Digest, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We're going to be getting a lot of news out coming in the coming weeks. Got 3 weeks until some press conferences, about a month until the first preseason game. So things are starting to pick up a little bit more. So if you want to get in tune with Celtics news and any other updates before the season starts, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because we're going to be getting in on everything possible Celtics news over here on Celtics Digest. Without further ado, let's get right into this video. And like I said, the Celtics have a lot of questions going into next season. And one of the biggest questions has been, who will be that starting center for the Boston Celtics? And like I said in the intro, Neemias Queta has been making an incredible case to be that starting center for this team. Looking forward, honestly, because he's been on this team for a few years now, did some work down with the main Celtics, got that guaranteed contract, and really has shown that he belongs on this NBA roster, let alone in the starting lineup, as he was over in EuroBasket playing for Portugal, breaking a ton of records, finally getting their first win since, I believe, 2007, and getting them to the round of 16. And if we take a look here at some of his stats, he averaged 15.5 points per game. He averaged 8 rebounds a game, 1.7 blocks per game, even a steal a game. This guy was playing incredible. Of course, the assists per game just under 1, but he is a center. He's a classic center. We look at some of these games that he had here. The one against Estonia is the one where he had 2 technical fouls, so he ended up getting out of the game early, so they still pulled out the win. But he has become more of a leader playing with Portugal, as he is the first ever player to come from Portugal into the NBA. So, of course, he's not surrounded by a lot of NBA players, but you look at some of the teams that he ended up going up against, like Latvia, Germany, Serbia, and all those guys that are on those teams, as in Jokic, you have Bogdan Bogdanovic. Who else? We got Germany. We have Daniel Theis was on that team with Dennis Schroeder, a couple old Celtics, even going up against Kristaps Porziņģis. But you look at some of these stat lines that he has here in that first game, having 23 points and 18 rebounds with a couple of steals and 4 blocks. First of all, he started off with an absolute bang, and you could tell that playing for your own country definitely brings a different type of beast. But EuroBasket is also just not really a joke. There's a lot of great players that are constantly playing in this EuroBasket tournament. So this is something good for Neemias Queta to go out there and play. And not only play at a very high level and just really learn what it's like to be in this leadership role and kind of be some sort of captain for this Portugal team. Like I said, he's not really surrounded by any other NBA players on this team. So he's really just learn to become a leader, and that's something that brings something into the Celtics locker room as well next year, as he did kind of bring up a funny quote a couple months ago saying that he feels like he's one of the veterans in this locker room when it comes to the big men, because that's really what he is. There's a lot of new guys into the locker room, and for somebody who's really fighting for more minutes and fighting for a starting lineup, spot to try and guarantee a spot, this is the perfect opportunity for him. And like I constantly said throughout this whole offseason, it's a season of opportunity, and the biggest opportunity is Neemias Queta to get that starting job. And if we kind of look here at their starting lineup, this is their depth chart here. The depth chart actually has him as the starting center right now, with Chris Boucher being in that second lineup as a center. But I don't really see him playing a lot of center this year. Maybe if they go a little bit small ball, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. When Luka Garza first came over, I did think that with how Brad Stevens was talking him up, I could have seen him being the starting center because he does have the ability to shoot some threes. But Neemias Queta, in some of his highlights, he's first game for EuroBasket, drains a 3. And I'm like, where did this come from? And he even was hitting some mid-rangers, so he's kind of expanding his game a little bit more like today's NBA. But he is one of your more classic centers that we see in classic big men. He's going to body you down low, get in the post, get those offensive rebounds. And that's one thing as well that's going to help the Boston Celtics and his case to get into the starting lineup is being a defensive presence down in the paint, like we saw with the 4 blocks in a game, averaging 2 blocks a game, and being someone down low who's going to be a force on the boards, kind of stopping these second chance points for other teams because, again, they're going to need him down low. And I think that he has an incredible opportunity here to be in this starting lineup. And he did go into an interview while he was at EuroBasket talking about if Joe Mazzulla was able to kind of go ahead and talk to him. And some of those things he said, as we see here from our guy Ian in an interview with EuroHoop's YouTube channel, Neemias Queta said, Coach Mazzulla has been keeping tabs on him this summer. And quote, I spoke with him a couple of times. He's always sending me messages of appreciation or love or me getting better. What he sees in me, what I need to improve on, and that's great. That's a great relationship that we have. And that's just awesome to hear that Joe Mazzulla is still keeping tabs on a guy like Neemias Queta. You know, he's not one of the star players, but he is watching. We know Joe Mazzulla is a psycho. He goes and watches all those European games. And what we've seen when they drafted Hugo Gonzalez, they were watching him for a very long time, so they do like to watch their overseas basketball, and it definitely shows here that Joe Mazzulla is making sure he's watching his guy Neemias Queta grow as a player and seeing what he's going to bring to this team next season. And a couple of the quotes here that Queta was talking about here as he was suiting up for his first FIBA competition, which he acknowledged was a bit of a surprise. Life comes at you in mysterious ways. I want more, and I always want to evolve. Of course, here even some better news with Mazzulla. Queta seems to be fully recuperated from an all-season knee injury, which is definitely massive. Finally seeing him get back on the court and playing at a high level. He said, I got rested enough this offseason. I think that I put myself in the best position to have a breakout season. And Queta opened, I have the tools to compete with the best. And that is a high level of confidence from somebody like Neemias Queta, who was not getting a lot of burn whatsoever, kind of coming off the bench, filling in some spots when some guys were getting into foul trouble or with a lot of injuries that the Celtics were having, with a lot of questions going forward. It doesn't really seem like Al Horford is going to be coming back. This depth at the center position is one of the biggest questions on the roster. Having 2 other guys come in to this roster that have not played a single minute for the Celtics, and for someone like Neemias Queta to have this opportunity wide open, learn a bunch of things overseas and absolutely killing it over there, definitely makes you feel much more confident in what Queta can bring to this Celtics team next season looking forward. And guys, I want to say thank you for watching the video. If you like this video, hit a like on the like button. Drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think about Neemias Queta and his performance in EuroBasket. And I truly think that he had an incredible EuroBasket, and it's going to translate very well with the Celtics next season. And comment down below if you think that someone else should be in that starting center position. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one, and let's go Boston Celtics. Peace out, guys.